Hi, and welcome to the show. This is Kira of All Trades on Phresh Phactory TV. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, so if you took a look at the channel, you might have seen that we've been showing some live videos. Just recently, I came off the road for the very first expo that Phresh Phactory Inc. has ever participated in. So this episode is called An Education in Expos because I learned so much that I just wanted to share those learnings, and hopefully that will help out anybody who is either a job seeker or any company that's looking to network. We'll run over some of the things that I found to be the most pressing and some things that have changed since the last time I've really gone out to do any networking, whether it was business or otherwise, post pandemic, right? Okay. So, again, my name is Kira. This is Kira of All Trades on Phresh Phactory TV. It comes out on Sundays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Fire TV, Roku, YouTube. It's on all the platforms. Please feel free to subscribe. Please like and share the videos, and contact us if you are in need of a staff to help enhance your business. Phresh Phactory Inc. is the business that is the main reason why we have this channel. It is a staffing company for startups, so we really do participate in a very niche community that we're looking to grow. So that was the reason why we went out to the expo, and that's the reason why we have this channel. And we're looking to network with anyone who fits our criteria, that wants to work with us just as much as we want to work with them, because it's always a long-term relationship that we want to help grow the other business, and obviously they're going to help us grow ours also. So thank you so much for everyone that's watching. So today's episode is An Education in Expos. So yes, this is for anyone who plans on participating in expos. The reason why they call it an expo is because it's an exposition. They also call them conferences, fairs, exhibits, displays. There are all kinds of expos. There are job fairs. There are like business conferences. There are specific niches of groups that have a in real life get together, and they just call it a conference. They just call it a fair. So basically it is in real life networking, which a lot of times post pandemic is just not happening. A lot of people do not want to, they just don't want to in real life network, and for good reason. But there are another sector of people who do want to. And as a person who doesn't really like to network that much, as a sworn introvert, I do understand how it is important to really just get out there sometimes and get beyond your comfort level. So with the support of all the people on the team, even I was really surprised. Like even clients were very supportive. Friends, family, etc. were all very motivational in helping to get us to participate. And I think that's why it became a really big success. So if it is something that is not within your normal wheelhouse to get out and network, this might be something that you want to hear, because I learned a lot, and definitely the whole thing was a big success, even though it was a ton and ton and ton of work, and also tons of money. But it was all really beneficial in the end. So as I mentioned, expos can be for any group of people: entrepreneurs, job seekers, independent contractors, people who just want an education in whatever the topic it is that is covered within that expo. So specifically, there are talks given in certain scenarios, which this time we got a booth, meaning that we had an individual place that we paid for with a table in a certain area that was in a vending location that we decorated to explain exactly what type of business that we're in and to essentially bring people to us, whether instead of us having to go to them. Which actually, as a caveat to that too, there were a few times where I saw someone doing something else and I got up and networked with them as well. So, it doesn't keep you from doing both, but it is much more of a draw to have people come to you who are your target audience in the case that you do decide to have a booth. But as I mentioned, there are costs associated with it. And in general, for any type of expo, any type of fair, they're going to give you a notification. You're going to see some type of periodical write about them. You're going to hear an announcement. You are going to get some type of notification that an event is being held. At that point, it is up to you to make a decision whether or not the type of group or the content that they plan on showing or bringing is fitting to you. So take into consideration that decision making is a time sensitive process. I was already participating in the education portion of the grouping that held this expo. And the time that it was announced that there was going to be this particular event was the time for me to start thinking. And time is of the essence. Time waits for no man. These situations don't wait for you. So there was some information put out basically saying that there was a pre-sale going on for the vendors, that as time progressed, the cost would be more. I suppose that's the same thing for general admissions. General admissions will probably sell out at a certain given time if you're going there as an individual to network or learn. Um, there will be pre-sales that make things less expensive. So if you are able to make some type of commitment early on, then you can also capture the cost savings for the overall benefit of your attendance. So if, for instance, you are a business and you're going there to find more customers, it will cost you less if you go ahead and make that decision. Also, if you're going as a job seeker or if you're going as a networker and you don't necessarily have a booth, but you're going there to be able to get your name out there, your business out there, if you go ahead and make that decision, then you can basically make the cost of acquiring those new networks and those new customers significantly less depending on what the cost variations are between the pre-sale and later. But it is up to you to make that decision. In this case, I went ahead and got the pre-sale cost for the booth, and then it turned out that they sold out all the booths, so there were no booths that were available for full cost. So the fact that I was able to make that decision in a timely manner was very effective for the overall benefit that I got from participating. Next, is this your crowd? Is this the group of people that you want to network with? Are they given the type of education that you want? Are you going to be able to get a larger benefit from you participating than you did by having to shell out the money? So is that cost worth it to you? I mean, exponentially. If you're putting in $250, $500, $600 for a ticket, are you going to 10x your returns if you participate in the way that you should? And what do you need? What are you looking for? Many people with up and coming startups or there as individuals looking to network. They want to talk to people who do different things. And of course, we want to do the same thing. We work by putting teams together for individuals. So it makes sense for me to get a booth and to have people from different backgrounds who automatically know that I am their people to come to me, and for me to be able to talk with them in real life and let them know what type of opportunities that we have available for job seekers, and also to be able to talk to the different entrepreneurs and business owners that are looking to hire. So it just made sense that I would have a booth that would keep me from having to go around one person by one person to be able to explain to them exactly what I am, what I do, and what we have, so that the message was very clear. And I used all the decorations for my booth to be able to do that. I used lots of words. I put words on my table. I put words on my background. I put words on the largest banner that they had. I had the tallest banner that they had in the whole hall for vendors, so that people could see that we do staffing for startups. Either you want to be on the staff, either you have a startup, or you have a combination of both and you want to participate. And the fact that it was the tallest banner in the whole hall was a benefit, because even people from the entry, if they looked up, they could see that even way in the back that I had something that they may be interested in. So the cost of the booth is very prohibitive. I just was asked yesterday whether or not it was beneficial for people to have booths. There were not only business owners that had booths. There were people who had an interest in giving their information to other people to network. So you as an individual can have a booth, and of course you can draw people to you, but there are costs associated with it. There are many ways to get new contacts. I mean, you want to learn things while you're there. You want to attend the conferences. You want to attend the talks. But there is the number one portion that most people are there for, which is to add new people to their network that are going to be beneficial. So one of the things that I saw was that there are a million ways to be able to get in contact with another person, to give your contact information to another person. I was really astounded. Um, QR codes are very popular. QR codes are, it's like a little square with dots or, you know, digitized markings inside that if you scan them with your camera will take you to a website. Sometimes it will take you to an individual's business card where you can download their information without having to exchange a physical business card. And those were quite popular. Obviously, we had one that was attached to our banner, and we used that to be able to take people directly to our website for them to schedule interviews, whether it was a live interview that we were having at the time, or if it was an interview for a follow-up. We just used that QR code to allow several individuals at one time to scan the information, send them directly to where we needed them to go without much fuss. So it is a very to the point way to give your information to an individual. And the only thing I can say about that is I did help lots of people make sure that they got to where they needed to go, because it gets you to the website, it gets you to the location, but every QR code that I've run across requires another step to be taken, whether it requires you to download the contact information, whether it requires you to press a button after that, because ours, it took you to the website, but you still have to press the button that says to schedule an interview. So in saying that, there is another step of very intimate communication. So if you're holding someone else's phone, if you are having to show them how to scan, then there are other parts of that communication that are happening right then. Are you a helpful person? Do you care enough to be able to make sure that the person gets from the starting point of getting that information to them to finishing the goal, which is for us was for the interviews to be scheduled? Sometimes people will walk away and they'll be like, okay, well, I got the information. Sorry, it's my speaker. People will say, yeah, I got the information, and then they'll walk off. But is that accomplishing your goal? So if you have the time and patience, then yes, most definitely, if you want to use the QR code, it gets you exactly to where you want to go. But it doesn't guarantee you anything unless you follow through. And that's what you will find with majority of these new ways of communication, and new being, depending on what the time period is that you've been making contact with people. Smart bracelets. So smart bracelets were really cool. People had on plastic or rubberized bracelets that they can touch your phone with and send your contact information from their bracelet to your phone, which seemed very invasive to me because I don't like people touching my stuff. And I didn't know what information they were taking from me. So it felt kind of weird. But I did go ahead and participate. And the catch with that is that my hope is that because I also had a digital business card, that it took the information from my digital business card and not like, my iPhone pictures from 1955. That's my hope. But again, it's a new way for someone to integrate what they want you to have into what you have, which is your device. But also, you have to be aware that there's another mode of transmission there that you need to be aware of. So, I'm not saying that in this particular situation that there was anything to be concerned about, but it just gets my mind moving to the amount of security that's always involved in these type of situations. Exchanging information is well and good. Are you getting the end result that you want? Are you getting in contact with the person that you want? Are you getting them to do whatever it is that you want them to do? Schedule an interview, take down your contact information, you to receive their information so that you are in control of being able to contact them. There's several layers to it. And then the old-fashioned business card. Sometimes you just have to have a business card. Sometimes you just have to have a physical business card or a brochure or something to give a person. I actually have a set of business cards that have my actual real cell phone number on it. And I only have about 20 of them. And the reason why I have those is I do have a staff. I do have a set of business telephone numbers. I have a personal line. The company has a telephone number you can call during regular business hours. Someone will pick up the phone. You can call after hours and leave a message, and then someone will be able to check for it. And if I'm busy, someone else will be able to return it. And I could be assured that you will receive the service that you need. But if the CEO of Apple decides he wants to talk to me, I'm giving him my business card with my personal cell phone number, and when he calls, I will know it. Not to say that everyone is not the same. Every person is the same. But sometimes there's just opportunities that exist that, direct connect is the only way. And if you want my business card, I'm going to give it to you, and I want you to be able to connect with me just as streamlined as possible. But then we have other methods for other times. Next, and this is actually a really cool one. If you're looking to, like I said, find a job, network with other businesses, sell products, etc., it's a really good idea to participate in these expos. But what happens if you're not going? I actually had a really cool interaction with someone's mom. So the mom comes up to my booth and says, my kid's not here, but I really think that she would be a good fit for you. It says you do staffing for startups. I have a kid that is a computer programmer or something like that. And then she pulls up the information, all of the links of the person's contact information. And she says, is there anything that you can do with it? Because, she says, Mom, I know that you're going, and if you find anybody who would be a good fit for me, please let them know. And because of that, I went ahead and called my staff and say, hey, can you get in contact with this person right now? I really felt strongly that if someone's mom went through the trouble of finding the contact information for the correct group that she felt was for the benefit of her kid, that it was only up to us to follow up. It was a good fit for the type of person that we're looking for, the type of skills. And, you don't have to always be in the place in order to get your information out there. So if you're not able to participate, the costs are too high, you can't transport yourself, figure out how to make it work for you. I have a whole team that's virtual. They can't be everywhere that I am. And although you might see me physically here alone, I have a whole team of support If you might see me in a booth by myself, there's staff members that are watching on the live stream. There are people that are in the adjacent booths. There are people that are in the adjacent buildings, etc., who are always keeping their eye on what's going on, and they definitely will have all of the skills and abilities to bring forth any information that I might need in the case that I need to extend my reach. So you can always find different ways to participate in areas, even if you cannot physically be there, even if that is beyond your financial means. There are always ways, but the real way is through other people. We have lots of other things in the world that connect people, but the person is the thing that's the most impactful. So, what happens afterwards? What happens after you get done doing all that kind of good stuff? Oh, wait, I forgot something. One of the things that I saw is that when I finally got there, I had all of this equipment. I had all of this stuff that needed to be set up for the booth. And you wouldn't believe the amount of booths that were completely empty because people had paid for booths. And then what I heard a lot was that people weren't able to get their decorations or their backgrounds or their graphics or whatever in time. I was in a similar situation. The printer says, hey, this print is not going to be exact. If someone scans this QR code, it's not going to work. So you need to redo it. But I was running out of time. So basically what I did was I just went for the gold. I said, hey, print it. I'm going to take it with me. I didn't even open it before I went. I just said, I'm not going to show up with nothing. I'm going to get the most benefit that I can. And one QR code worked and the other one didn't. But coming unprepared is better than not showing up at all, but you cannot get your full benefit. So if that means you need to have business cards in one pocket and a bracelet on the other arm, and then someone who's walking around with your information also, and then a website that you can send somebody a QR code to, and then another digital business card that you can exchange information. Do what you have to do to get the most impact from your investment. And that's your investment in time, resources, money, all that. Okay, so follow-ups. It was a long week. It was a long week. I actually drove to Atlanta, which is crazy, with all of the things that were needed for the booth, etc., and was just ready to get the most that I could from the experience. But as the expo continued, I got tons of brochures and business cards and information and scheduled interviews, etc. Not to mention, I was actually doing live interviews with certain folks who I thought would be really beneficial. What do you do with it? Don't go home and do nothing with all the information that you have gained. People want to work. People want to work with you. People want to know what you're talking about, but some people just are not in an organizational space to do so. Lucky for me, I have a wonderful staff. Thank you guys. Y'all are wonderful. I really appreciate all y'all's positive support, etc. And all the viewers, right? Which are probably also the staff. Thank you. Who are there to be able to follow up on these contacts. Put them in some kind of CRM, some kind of contact retaining system, some way to manage the contacts that you have. I don't care if it's on a spreadsheet. Make sure to take this information from those business cards that you're going to lose and put them somewhere that you're going to be able to, one, remember where you got them from, name of said event on this spreadsheet. And I mean, just take the time. It's not something that I really, in my real life, would do. I just know that it needs to be done. And luckily for me, I do have a staff that's organized enough to be able to do that. And I make sure to tell them how important it is for me to be able to keep up with these things. And they do a great job. But if you don't have a staff, for one, you can hire us. And I'll find somebody nice to be able to do it for you, even if you are an individual like a coach or something like that, which I found at the event. But no, also as a business or anyone, you just want to get into the habit of retaining this information. I remember having some follow-up calls with some individuals who scheduled calls, directly after, in the days following. And it was just really difficult for me to remember every detail about the conversation that we had, even though it just happened. Because I had so many conversations with people that one conversation, although it was impactful, was kind of squished in between other ones. But once I was able to get my memory jogged, and then I was able to take notes on the conversations that we had, it was much more, the information was much more readily available to my memory. And then I was able to kind of pick up where we left off and then take that start and then continue it with our follow-up interview or, our follow-up conversation. Some of these networks that you build, some of these contacts that you get are not going to be available today. Sometimes you don't have what you need to work with certain individuals and certain groups today, but you need to keep them on retainer. Just make sure that you have taken the time to digest this information, to keep these contacts, to organize them, name them what you need to name them and put them all together so you can make sure that going forward, you have this information so when it's time, you can go back and refer to it. So, last point is relationships. Um, you can build relationships with all kinds of people on accident, or you can build relationships on purpose. I am very much a on purpose gal. So, maybe earlier in life, I was just friends with someone who was a friend based on the fact that they live close to me or something like that. But as I get older and as I get more refined in my business, I have to refine where I spend my time. And I spend my time now making sure that I am focused on what I need to be focused on and then building relationships with other people who are also on that same track, whether that's people that are working with me, for me, information, people who are giving me information about groups I need to go to going forward, all that. It's just that, you know, you can pick where you put your energy. You have to work, you have to eat, you have to sleep, you have to take care of your family, all those kinds of good things. So why not put your energy and effort into people and things and events that are going to be the most beneficial to you, so the most return. I think that's the end of it. Just build those relationships on purpose, and you can quit wasting a lot of time. You can get it way more streamlined and defined. And that, my friends, is the full episode of An Education in Expos. This is Kira of All Trades on Phresh Phactory TV. Please, please, please like, share, and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're on Fire TV, if you're on Roku, please subscribe to the channel. These episodes come out on Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. You'll see us every week. I hope you are able to gain any piece of knowledge, and whatever you do learn, please share it with a friend. And if you have any businesses that are looking to grow, any startups, please contact us. The information is below, www.freshfactory.com. We would love to have a conversation with you and find out if we are able to assist your success. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day, evening, or afternoon. Bye.